Not long ago, I had a conversation at university with my classmates, and one of them claimed that the left in his country, France, wants equity and looks for everyone to earn the same, while the far right only benefits big business capitalists. He said all of this even despite of the fact that the so-called far right in France, specifically Marine Le Pen, actually has a very left-wing and status program. The reason I just told you this story is not because of the irony of my mate of supporting the left in France, because Le Pen is supposedly a pro-capitalist politician. That's not what I will address in this episode, but instead his actual reasons, which are just being against business people and controlling them even more. So the question comes, why progressives hate successful business leaders in politics? In recent years, we have seen how many people despise successful people, although it's not a new phenomenon. Nowadays, we can see it even more of that thanks to social media, where many people are able to share their open thoughts and opinions on anything and anyone. Progressive circles tend to highlight their speech not only how evil capitalism is according to them, but also their criticism on why successful people in power are a threat to democracy from their point of view. It's a very aggressive trend that has been expanding, especially after the start of the second Trump administration in January 20th, 2025, due to the progressive outrage due to of Trump's policies and Elon Musk's sometimes eccentric attitude in the public sphere. The debate has came out once again. Should we allow successful people into politics? Or is this just a smokescreen to protect a political elite? Now, today I will address why this is a very dangerous trend that ironically could threat democracy and why, despite it being understandable, it still lacks of logic. We've seen a growing disdain for successful people. There's even been progressives' calls for banning them from entering politics. But now, isn't banning a whole class from office literally discrimination? This question is important because these people often claim to advocate for equality of opportunities and social justice. Although it seems like it exclusively applies when it is someone who's not in a business and has reached a lot of economic freedom out of politics. But why? In history, envy and resentment has been a useful tool that has been used for many in the political spectrum, from one's blaming immigration as the main problem of countries, to blaming the rich for the problems of the middle or lower class people. We can see many examples of this, like how the Bolsheviks looted the wealthy during the Russian Revolution, while ironically, the revolution was financially supported by big business from Wall Street. What this tells us is that despite of Bolsheviks claiming that the big capitalists were the problem, we finally find that business people like Armand Hammer, founder of Occidental Petroleum, supported the revolution for his own profit. All of this exposes the fact that the anti-capitalist rhetoric used by the Bolsheviks was no more than a tool to get power using resentment from a part of the Russian population. I could mention many more similar examples. However, now let's focus in our time. This isn't about morality, it's about power. The political class fears outsiders because they can't be bullied. So next time someone says rich people shouldn't govern, ask them, would you rather have a problem solver or a professional liar? This doesn't mean that there's no bad people in the upper class with bad intentions, but instead, a matter of critical thinking. They often say good things of career politicians, often claiming that it's better to have a politician instead of a rich guy in power, ignoring that career politicians are also people with their own economic interest in mind as well. People who can spend decades and decades in government, and some of them do nothing during all of that time. Now it's time to realize that places like El Salvador, a land governed by street gangs and violence, is now one of the safest countries in the world, all made by Nayib Bukele, a Salvadorian businessman who became president of his country, which currently has good future perspectives under his administration, as you might expect. Progressives have condemned his actions and claim that he's violating human rights by imprisoning large numbers of gang members. There's many other examples, such as Michael Bloomberg or even U.S. President Herbert Hoover. All of this shows us that envy and resentment have to be avoided so people can also avoid being manipulated by demagogues pretending to use such resentment as a tool for their own political gain. Agree? Disagree? Fight in the comments and subscribe for more.